Boom. There we go. I fixed it. Bingo. Am I alive? Do I live? Do I live? Send myself back. Ow. Whoop. Trying to listen to my own self. Got it. Bingo. That's done. Screw you, OBS. You're unfair, man. Absolute upsetteries. Right, shall I redo my intro then? Because I just did an entire intro for no reason after I just quickly checked the chat and realised that I had, bare issues on the mic front. Welcome to, quite frankly, the craziest and probably the best Formula 1 race I think I've ever watched in my life. And I mean that quite heavily, actually. That was better than probably... Canada 2011 still holds something for me. It still does, but here's the funny thing is Germany was voted the best race of the previous decade. That race looked like mediocre borefest compared to what I just saw in that Italian Grand Prix. Jesus Christ. Also today, we'll do a couple of open lobbies as well, here and there as well, but I basically want to get you guys involved in the F1 debate, so I thought streaming it directly after the race is actually kind of a better thing to do rather than recording just myself doing it. 2019 was like that. Anyway, let's have a look then. Let's quickly see what you guys have been saying, because I need to actually have a look. Yes, obviously Pierre Gasly won the Italian Grand Prix. What a guy. I don't have any clue I don't have a clue what to say about that. It's actually kind of mad, you know, that Gasly has gone out and just taken a dub for AlphaTauri. What a guy, man. What an absolute guy. I believe Sam is going to be coming on as well very shortly to chat. What did you think, man? Come on, let's see what you guys are thinking. Yo, what's up, Crypto? Yo, what's up, Logan? How you doing, man? Sup, Ewan? Welcome back again. Man. I'm just going to skip most of the chat because it just has you muted, and I was like, yep. I know I was. What do you think about the race? We're going to get into that very, very shortly. Just going to quickly welcome everyone in, and then we'll get into the race itself. No reverse races, please, ever. We'll get into that. Definitely. Yo, what's up, Fresh Pie Man? How you doing? Someone talking about Akmal, woo Arsenal. Come on, you Gunners. Oh boy, yeah, you know. Right, let's move it on though. Okay, Mohammed, we know that Gasly won. You don't need to tell us about 20 million times. You can tell me more times than you think, and we don't need to. We know Gasly won. It's pretty mad, I know, but he won. Okay. What are you going to jump onto those open lobbies? In a Momo. It's kind of hard to concentrate when I'm going to be talking about it at the same time, but we're going to be chatting about it. So let's get into it. Hamilton tried to cheat. Well, not really. You don't gain an advantage from pitting. I know the pit entry was closed, but you don't gain an advantage because even if he then came back out, he would have just had a penalty anyway, and he would have been, well, where he was. If he pitted under the actual... Well, the thing is, though, is if he pitted under the safety car like everyone else did, he might have lost some places, actually. But then the red flag came out. Could have got a good start. At the end of the day, like, it wasn't cheating in any way at all, because he pitted under a safety car, and he didn't have an advantage after that anyway, so... It's a fair penalty, though. Don't get me wrong, but, you know, I wouldn't necessarily say it was cheating. Cheating is a completely different element to that. Let's set my own one up. You can join off my profile if you want. Oh yes, I'm Barbadian. Let's go. Right, let's get some F1 cars going. You know what? Go on then. Get me in an Alpha. Go on. I'll do them proud by probably crashing out all the time, but you know, it is what it is. Let's get some random grids going. We've got equal cars. We've got 22 players. Let's go to the race settings. Are you kidding me? Why? I'm signed into Xbox Live. Look, I'm right here. Xbox Live. Haha. Have you guys played FIFA 21 yet? I have. Sorry. Didn't mean to do that. It's quite weird. Right, guys. Get some topics out then. Let me know what we want to discuss. We'll get straight to it. I'm going to let you guys dictate how this F1 debate goes because we got time, bros. We got time. So, let me know what you want to speak about first. A lot of people talk about the Hamilton penalty. We'll get into that. We will. Definitivamente. What I'll do for this. Yeah. People can have their own setups. I don't really care. Rules and flags are on. Corner cut regular. Let's just do some normal races. Ghosting off, though. Safety car set up full. Yeah, cool. That'll do. Oh, no, you guys took me alpha. Oh, you bastards. Oh, that's really mean. Oh, I'll just go in the Ferrari then. If I'm going to crash loads, might as well go to car that crashes loads, eh? You can join up a profile if you want to be a part of these. Let's do a little mini championship, actually. Let's do, like, 4 races, let's say. We'll start with Italy. Yes. We'll go to the next race on the calendar, which is not on here, because I just remembered. Let's go to France, because everyone loves France. Probably the best track on the calendar, definitely. What are we guys on about? Penalty was a bit harsh. I mean, to be honest, yes and... Probably not, actually. I think it's fine. Just because you're... You know, if the pit lane is closed, like, those marshals need to drive that on there. What if, you know, anything can happen in that circumstance? You could say, oh, you know, what if Hamilton, you know, lost the rear of the car and the exit of the parabolica and then tried to turn in and, you know, smashed into the wall? And you think, that's never going to happen. But where's the evidence to prove that it isn't going to happen? You know, if the pit lane entry is shut, you know, those marshals are risking themselves. It sounds weird, but they are risking themselves to move onto the track to get into the pits. In terms of going behind where they were trying to wheel it, I don't think there was enough space anyway. Even when they say move the picnic table thing, I don't think there was enough space anyway to move their car into the pits. I don't think they could, if I'm perfectly honest with you. How many players have we got? 15 out of 22? Yeah, let's just go. I don't think there was enough space to move them into the pit lane. So I actually don't think it was... Yeah, in terms of moving that Haas car, no matter what, it had to just be rolled into the pit lane. Magnussen did the smart thing. He put it out of the main firing line, but he put it into a firing line of, in order for the marshals to safely get rid of... Because the safety car, the biggest problem is that's also bang on pit window for the soft tyre runners. So all he's got to do is just say, right, we'll just quickly shut off the pit lane for 2 laps. No one can pit under the safety car for that time. We can then put ourselves through there without harm's distance. And Hamilton's, you know, was in, like, straight away, which, you know, is a bit silly. But then for Giovinazzi to come in straight away afterwards was probably more dangerous. But I still think it was fair, in my opinion. Again, though, yeah, you're saying that it was fair because you see how much he gained. It's not about what Lewis gained. He was P1 anyway. What he might have lost, he would have lost positions because, you know, other drivers had stayed out. But... You know, it's not necessarily a cheating scenario in there. He actually probably would have been fine if the red flag didn't come out. If the red flag didn't come out, Hamilton was fine, probably. He could have just built up an advantage, because it took much longer for them to dictate what Hamilton's penalty was going to be compared to anyone else. Why does it take, like, 2 seconds to... Why don't I have a Italian Grand Prix set up? Just give me max top speed then, I guess. But, no, I don't... I wouldn't say it's too harsh. I think it's about fair, in my opinion. Oh, I just started looking at the chat, my bad. It's fine. I'm doing a Lewis Hamilton right now. I've got a penalty in this race. Accuracy at its finest. It's all good. Right, using a max downforce setup, a max top speed setup is not cool. It's quite bad. I don't know why I don't have one on. It's not the funnest thing in the world. Yeah, I think it was... I don't think it was fair. Yeah, you could say... Right, I'm sorry. What are the break... What's the brakes and everything on this? Because this is horrible. I can't brake with this setup. Why did I load a default setup? It doesn't make any sense. So if we're blaming anyone, Hamilton's race engineer's fault for not realising the pit wall was close. that's the weird thing, is that they knew it for Bottas, but they also didn't for Hamilton. But I guess it's due to the gap that Lewis had as well. Because Lewis had Lewis had a safety car's gap, if that makes sense, to everyone else. He had a massive advantage compared to the rest of the pack in terms of just overall. Oh, that's the car that's going off in front of me. Yeah, Lewis had such a big advantage that, that could have been a sense of why. But, at the end of the day, it's still dangerous. I mean, yeah, I know what you're saying. Like Hamilton was told to box. So if there's anyone to blame, it is the team. The team ruined Hamilton's race and what would have been quite a comfortable, dominant Italian Grand Prix victory for him. But sorry, it's a fair penalty in my books. 10-second stop go as well. One of the harshest ones to give out. You can say, it's quite a harsh penalty and whatnot, but I think we need to look at the fact is that pit lane is closed. There is marshals that are going to be wheeling a Formula 1 car into the pit lane, And if you've got cars out there that are, if there's a car being wheeled through the pit lane, and then all of a sudden you've got, a pit stop that goes wrong, or a tyre comes flying off or whatever, all of a sudden you've got then an absolutely chaotic disaster. So that's why it's there. That's why he got that 10-second stop go, was because of the severe dangers that can happen. Go back to, remember Ricciardo in 2016 at the Brazilian Grand Prix, when he got one. I don't know what his penalty was, and it's probably different because they've changed the penalty sequences, but it's a very similar aspect in terms of just overall severity of it, because Ricciardo's one was more dangerous because he had to swerve around Felipe Nasr's car, or Ericsson. I don't remember who was driving in the Sauber back then, to be honest. It was Nasr or Ericsson, one or the other. So there's still severe dangers to it, so I'm not really that concerned. I've just downshifted by accident, whoopsie. There's not much more I can do there in terms of space for you, buddy. A Ferrari just made an overtake on a racing point. You'll never see that in F1. Even though we saw literally an F1 2020 open lobby podium. It should have been a 10-second time penalty. Oopsie. I can't brake with this car. Shut up. Yeah, the 10-second stop-go is the most severe of them all. In terms of penalties, bar disqualification. But I just still think, the overall thing is extremely severe, so, at the end of the day, yeah, of course I'm going to get fastest middle sector. I cut the chicane more. I still think the overall severity of what can happen, kind of, Oh yeah, 100%. I'm not saying that Lewis doesn't deserve a penalty for what he did. You're just an ass. There we go, I'm blocking you now. Now what are you going to do? Now what are you going to do? Drag me! Drag my car. Go on. Drag me. I'll just stay here. There we go. I'll just go across the line then. I mean, you can't drive, first of all. But secondly, just guide me along, mate. It's fine. Oops. I've now hit somebody. And I've been hit again. You know what? Yeah, it happens. What's Blair saying here? In my opinion, he broke the rules. He kind of puts the marshals in danger. 100% deserves a penalty. Exactly. Guys, can we stop hitting me while I'm trying to read the chat, please? It's not very fun and it makes me want to cry in my sleep. Exactly. Oh my Jesus Christ. I can't rejoin onto it. Do you know what? I'm just going to do this. Bollocks that. Also, didn't Hamilton struggle to see the flag for the pit lane when it came out? I don't know. I don't think he was paying any attention to that, to be honest. It didn't look like it. Because he was stating that there were no lights on the pit lane. And I would probably say, yeah. He probably didn't see them. But I think what we need to look at is that, for me, in my personal opinion, I actually do think that the pit lane closure lights, we actually need them, and we need them properly, because on the outside of Parabolica, I understand completely, there are lights there, and you need to, be aware of your surroundings, but At the same time, you know, even under a safety car scenario, you're not traveling at like 60 miles an hour. You're still traveling at high speed anyway. Probably like, let's say 100 miles an hour, example. I don't know, you know, what the speed delta difference is. But even if it's at like 60 miles an hour, you know, that's like driving on a motorway, for example, doing like 60, 70 mile an hour around about that section. And, you know, sometimes it's really hard to see some other things. Like I said, I don't know what speed they're doing. I'm just taking it as a reference. So, to have it all the way on the outside of Parabolica is a little bit daft. I actually think it should be before the pit lane on the inside of the pit lane. And then where the pit wall is there is to have a red and green light. And if that light is red, then Lewis can turn out of that. And then the worst thing he's going to get is potentially, you know, like a 5-second time penalty or maybe even a drive-through for, you know, weaving along the circuit and, you know, being a bit dangerous on that front. So that's the only thing that I can probably see that they could do to change that. In terms of his penalty itself, I still think it's a 10-second stop-go. I'm not going to complain about that. It's completely fair, in my opinion. The engineer should have told him. Yeah, like I said, the engineers have to tell him that there's a thing there, and they knew that they'd made a mistake. How they didn't realise that? Obviously, maybe the engineers didn't specifically see the lights. Maybe there was no sign that came up on the thing. You know, it doesn't make a difference in my opinion to where it necessarily is. Placing it at the pit entrance is too late and dangerous. At the inside of Parabolica, maybe. Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Like where the two Parabolica pit lights are anyway, put them on the inside instead. I'm not saying put them directly on the pit lane because you've got no chance of seeing that then. Where the two ones on the Parabolica are absolutely fine. But for me, they're just too far away. Like, why do I need to... Why, you know, if I'm... Keep the ones on the outside there because maybe someone looks at the outside. But also put them on the inside because for me, like, why do I have to look all the way over to the outside when I'm still, you know, sticking to a delta time as well? Granted, obviously, it's the team's fault, 100%. Like, that's you know, a given. But for it to be all the way over there is a bit clumsy in my opinion. I don't think it should be over there. I think it should be on the I think it should stay on the outside, but also be on the inside as well. So you've got two boards, and then you've also got a straight light, you know, like you've got a pit exit, you've got a pit entry, and boom. Pit entry, red light on, and, you know, that is what it is. So... You know, that's what it is. I'm not arguing against this penalty in any sort of way. I hope people don't think that I am, because if you do, you're pretty dumb. It's a straight penalty, 100%, but, you know, there could be things to slightly change that, because I know that, you know, like Hamilton's penalty in Austria, you know, to have the the lights all the way off circuit and not on the inside where they're taking their line to, and literally, you know, way off is a bit clumsy. I know it comes up on their dash as well. Maybe it actually came up on Lewis's dash. That's not actually something I didn't think of. So yeah. Imagine a real life podium being unrealistic. Oh wait. Yeah, you got that. You got that in abundance. You mean you got a very unrealistic Brazilian Grand Prix podium last year, but yeah. Yeah, it's great. What's Lewis said on Twitter? Oh, he's just congratulating Gasly. I thought there was, you know, he was going to rip into them a little bit. The last lap on the French GP broadcast. Oh my god, I'm going to have to see that. That is going to be quite the thing. Quite the thing indeed. What else have we got then? Human Pokedex. That drive, did show he's the best driver to make up time in the car, which isn't shown to be the fastest. Well, it is the fastest. Not on a straight line. They put more downforce on, but that drive made. Let's read it anyway before I actually start judging it. Be the fastest. The Merc wasn't the fastest down the straight. That's why I probably should read more of it. The Merc wasn't the fastest down the straight as it wasn't in the top 17 fastest. That's the thing. That Merc wasn't the quickest in a straight line. They put more downforce on. And F1 2020's game has broken, so that's absolutely fantastic. I love playing F1 2020 when the game functions like this. Like, this is ridiculous. Oh, Jesus. My life, man. I thought, why? Not even going to get mad about it. Not even going to get mad about it. Williams was P11, so close. Would have been a great point to send Claire home with. They were actually. Big old Zach Brown saying great work for the team. Yeah, they were close, but unfortunately they were not close enough. Not close enough indeed. Did Raikkonen score? I don't think Raikkonen scored any, but where did he finish? He finished in P12. Oh, he finished behind Latifi. That's mad. I thought he finished in front. That's a bit weird. Jesus. That's pretty insane. I thought he finished further up than that. God, he got absolutely swamped. Shame for him. I guess that's what you kind of get for being in an Alfa Romeo, guys. And it showed Bottas is really poor. I want to see if Bottas had any damage or not. I don't care, like, to be honest, if he did have, a little bit of damage, that doesn't pave the way for the fact that, yes, Bottas was bloody awful in this race. What we need to remember is that Bottas, in a race where all he had was a bad start, right? We can clear that up. The first few laps, he had an absolutely awful start. He got overtaken, past Ricciardo, nearly got passed by Verstappen, and then he was settled in. For the entirety of the Grand Prix, Valtteri Bottas, I think he made up... What did he overtake? Who did Bottas overtake? He only overtook Kimi Raikkonen on track. He didn't get past anybody else. The only time he actually got past other cars was when he got past Ricciardo and Perez under the safety car. That's the only time he made an overtake in the entire Grand Prix. So, I'm sorry. And you look at Hamilton, he had a 10-second stop-go penalty, was plumb last, and fought back to P7. In the championship fight, Lewis Hamilton has lost 3 points overall. In terms of his championship lead, I believe it is, I think it's just dropped by 3 points. Well, I don't even think it's that, because Verstappen was, 47 points back? Add on, Bottas, I think, was 50 points back. So Bottas has gained, what did Bottas finish? P5? So Bottas gained 10. And then Hamilton... so the gap still is 47 points. The championship lead hasn't changed in terms of a points difference overall. Hamilton is still 47 points clear. And he had a 10-second stop-go penalty. Oh, Jesus. It's funny. I've given up defending Bottas now. He's just there because... I don't know. He's just there. I want to put this to you guys, actually, chat. And I want to ask you this question, right? I put this out on Twitter, right? So I said that Bottas is probably having his worst ever season in the Mercedes-Benz car. Now, I know in 2018, he didn't win a Formula 1 Grand Prix. But for me, I actually think this is Valtteri Bottas' worst ever season in a Mercedes-Benz car. Let me know what you think about that. I don't think Bottas got a pole position at all, even in that Mercedes car from last year. No, he got pole in Russia, didn't he? Yeah, I think it's the only time he got pole. When did he... Let me go into the 2018 season and see how Bottas performed in that. I'm probably going to wait a little bit on the open lobby side because it's really goddamn just buggy. It's been buggy twice now. So, sod it. This is why I don't play online anymore. I've gone off of online because of all of this. So how many times did Bottas get pole in 2018? So we got 1 pole in Austria and then 1 pole in Russia. So we got 2 pole positions in the 2018 season. He didn't win, in fairness. So he didn't win anything in that season. Now we go to 2020, right? And you can argue with me or against me. It's completely up to you, right? But we go into the season, and so far, Bottas has had 2 pole positions. So he's had the same amount of pole positions as he's had in 2018. So he had, the 70th anniversary pole and the Austrian Grand Prix pole. He did win the Austrian Grand Prix, in fairness to him. However, in saying that, I actually think Bottas has been worse because he has the outright fastest car. No point this season has there been a car which has been quicker than them. I know Verstappen beat them in the 70th anniversary Grand Prix, but to see that, in that race, the Mercedes car was still the quickest car. They just struggled on their tyres, whereas Max didn't, and it was a tyre boring race. But where it mattered, let's have a look right at Valtteri Bottas' race results this season compared to Hamilton's. We'll start with Lewis, right? Hamilton, P4, P1, P1, fastest lap, P1, P2, fastest lap, P1, P1, P7, fastest lap. Bottas, in a Mercedes-Benz, which is by far the quickest car on the grid, is P1, P2, P3, P11, granted puncture, take that aside. P3, P3 fastest lap, P2, P5. And then Verstappen, you've got as retired, P3, P2, P2 fastest lap, P1, P2, P3, retired. Like, Verstappen has had more second places than Bottas, less third places. He's now 7 points behind Bottas in the championship, and combined, Verstappen has DNF'd from 2 Grand Prix. Bottas technically has not DNF'd this season, but he didn't score in Silverstone. Take that aside, be the judge of that. You can be the judge of that. I just do not think that it's not good. I just don't think he's been good enough, but you can go that. I'm holding back on the open lobbies for a second because, dude, I've tried to load it up twice now and it's failed twice. So, yeah, it's not been awesome. I'll try again, but I hope it just doesn't bug out. We've had to check my Xbox connection and then the race is finished and it's just broken. So, we'll try again, but I'd rather this game actually just function properly. That'd be amazing, because that's all we like to see really in life. But sometimes we ask for a little bit too much, but it is what it is. In 2018, he wasn't bad. He was just unlucky. That's what I'm trying to say. So in 2018, he was unlucky. Like, he should have won the Bahrain Grand Prix if he actually got some balls and went on the brakes. In Azerbaijan, he should have won, bar the puncture. In Russia, he should have won, bar the team orders. And then there's some other, areas where he could have won. This year, Bottas has had one clear-cut weekend. That was round number 1. That's what I can conclude from it. Whereas this time around, fam, you're all just robbing me alpha. So I'm not standing for that. Whereas this time around, for me, I just don't think that guy has been good enough in this team this year. He's had one faultless weekend, Bottas. That's it. Like, I can't defend somebody. I've done a lot of defending in these debate videos that I've been doing, but I can't defend someone too much because what more can I say to defend him apart from, what are you doing? Make it a 3-race calendar instead. Zandvoort, boom. Austria, boom. I'll go back to Italy again, boom. There. So, unless someone can come up with a great reason why Bottas should be defended, I don't know. Let's move on. What have we got? Gasly to Red Bull. Oh yeah, 100%. Gasly needs that Red Bull seat. Albon's terrible. I don't care what anyone says. Albon's, for me, is probably, Albon needs to go. 100% has got to get out of that seat. Okay, qualifying. I mean, he was still 0.3 off of Verstappen, even with, slipstream and everything like that. So it's all right. In the race, then, again, turn 1 racing incident. Not a lot you can do about that. It's one of those things. You got pincered in it. When Grosjean came through late on the brakes, that was just stupid and clumsy. Broke his own floor. Just had another poor race and wasn't really in the mix. Again, I'm sorry, Albon needs to get out of that seat. I know he's a great racer. For me, Alex Albon, actually, I think the best way to put this, right, and you can let me know in the chat if I'm right or wrong on this. For me, Alex Albon is the perfect midfield racer because he can make up a lot of places in a race and he's very good at overtaking. But he's not quick enough in a quick car, in a quick team that needs to be challenging for podiums and fighting against Mercedes. That's as simple as that. If you look at the likes of, you look at Perez, you look at Norris, you look at Sainz, you look at Gasly at the moment, you see them and you think, there's some really good cars in there, and there's some really good, top midfield drivers. You don't know if they can do it in a top team because they haven't had the chance, but you look at, Perez is the greatest example, as I've said all of those. There's so many examples that you can give, and there's probably some other ones that I've missed out. And you look at those and you think Albon is perfect for that type of scenario. When it comes to race-winning scenario, he doesn't have it. And what Gasly has now proven all out is that he can show when he's under pressure, he can win a race. And he led for 20-ish laps probably. And he didn't exactly, have any issues. I'll get onto Stroll in a minute just because you're annoying me and it's annoying. So that's something that you can put on Albon's, on Gasly's shoulders. Okay, I was a bit ambitious there to try that. I hope I didn't spin him around. Okay, I might have done. But let me know what you think. I'll try and check the chat as much as I can, but I think Albon for me is a good midfield driver, not a top car driver in my opinion. You're trying to go for it up the inside very ambitiously. Defend that. Bit of wheel-to-wheel contact, but it's fine. You can dump everything off of here to get out of the way. I said I'm not going on to... I can't go on to... I know Gasly was terrible at Red Bull. We need to remember that. Gasly was not good in the Red Bull car, but... You know, Gasly has proven... way more in his time at Toro Rosso and AlphaTauri than he ever did at Red Bull. Gasly has shown that, you know, if you get knocked down, it's about how you get back up, and people's careers have been killed from being dropped out of that Red Bull program. You know, you look at Danny Kvyat. Danny Kvyat's never really been this true same. You know, in 2015, I still think he was harshly kicked out of that car when he was in the Red Bull. For me, I think they just wanted Verstappen in the Red Bull and just found an excuse to get him in, to be honest. But you look at Kvyat, you know, it really killed him off. Like 2017 then, or also the rest of 2016, I don't think he got a point in the championship until USA. Whereas Gasly, been keeping at it, been keeping his head held high, been strong in everything, and he's realised that, you know, I can still do this. I can still be a great driver. He put some great performances on in the rest of the 2019 season when he was put back down into that that Toro Rosso as it was back then. And then you look at him, you know, he got that podium in Brazil, which I think everyone could be so happy for him for. In this season, he's been my driver of the season, bar Lewis Hamilton, obviously. And then you've got to look at, you know, in that race, when the pressure's on, Sainz is catching him, probably in a quicker car. You know, he was getting very close. He kept a cool head under extreme pressure, and he's won a Grand Prix. He knows what it's like now to lead a Grand Prix and to cope with pressure. You know, he did not choke. He could have easily locked up a front brake when Sainz was coming at him on the last lap, gone off wide. Sainz could have tried to capitalise. Yes, the McLaren was a quicker car, but Gasly has shown way more than what Albon did. I still think Albon's move is too early to go into there. Kind of, you could say the same as Gasly. But the problem is they're in comparison with Verstappen, and you know, I don't think Albon should be in there, to be honest. I think Albon needs to get out of that Red Bull seat, and I wouldn't be surprised if a statement comes out tonight. I mean it. I actually wouldn't be surprised if a statement comes out tonight and Albon's out of that car. I'm going to put this out there. Hulk contacted Red Bull. Why not? But then if you contact Red Bull and Hulk gets the seat, then all of a sudden, what's the point in a junior program if none of your juniors are going to get a chance to get promoted? But the big thing for me in Red Bull is that they do not have a second driver. The only time they had a good pairing was Ricciardo and Verstappen, because Ricciardo could take the fight, more or less, beat Verstappen, bar if his car actually was on the racetrack or didn't have a grid penalty, because let's face it, 2018 he was either fighting through the field with a grid penalty, or his car blew up, to be honest. I think he retired 13 times or something like that in the season, which still shocks me to this day, but there you go. So, there's that to it. We'll move on to Stroll afterwards, because, you know, obviously, unpopular opinion, Kvyat should get a second chance in the Red Bull. Yes, but no. Why do I think that? Now, this could be obviously completely different, but, you know, for me, Kvyat just, you know, the thing is when you get knocked down, like, I'm just going to compare him to Gasly, I'm sorry, I've got to. For me, in my opinion. And I just think, I look at Fiat and I just don't see any form of top racing material from him to be in a thingy. So for me, in my opinion, I don't know. Let me know what you think. I just can't see Fiat back in a Red Bull car. I know he was harshly taken out of it. I can just only see Fiat really being a top midfield driver. That's all I really see out of him in his career now, to be honest. Unfairly, granted. I highly agree with you. It's an unfair thing, but yeah, just not really my my thoughts on him anymore. I just think he's kind of gone now. It's like it's kind of GG's in my opinion. So let's get. I mean, I'm going to win this Grand Prix as well by quite some margin, actually. Just to put that out there as well, just to soak up that a little bit. So that's fun. Yay. Unfortunately for Red Bull, if Gasly's driving style doesn't suit Red Bull, they really haven't got any good enough drive. Oh, there goes another car. If the driving style doesn't suit Red Bull, they really haven't got any good enough drivers to back up Max and maybe lead a constructors fight. Yeah, that's 100% true. If they don't have any good constructors teams with them, then if they don't have a second driver that that is happy with the way that the Red Bull is being built, then you're right. I can completely understand what you're saying. So yeah, definitely a point to put into there. I think what we need to look at as well, right, is I'm gonna put this question out here, okay? So I can't defend Valtteri Bottas pretty much any more than I ever tried, right? Everyone has been complaining and basically using the excuse that the Ferrari is only built for Leclerc. The Red Bull is only built for Verstappen. Is the Mercedes then only built for Hamilton? Because why is Lewis Hamilton winning all the Grand Prix? Why is Hamilton smashing it constantly when when Bottas is clearly struggling with that car? Is the Mercedes just built for Lewis Hamilton and only Hamilton? I'll put that out there because it could be a thing. Could be a thing, man. So yeah. So there's something to put into the minds, obviously, of what what else you could potentially to be. So I think there's something that that needs to be looked at as well. Is that the car could literally just be built for Hamilton, no one else. So it is what it is. So that's kind of what I'm trying to get out of it. Yo, man, smash that! Absolutely bossed it whilst talking. It's been Hamilton's team since 2017, to be fair. Exactly. So are we saying that, the car is only being built to help Lewis Hamilton? Are they not helping Valtteri? So I'm just putting it out there. I'm not saying, I see what you're saying, Pokedex. Why would they build the car just for Lewis if Valtteri is still contracted for longer? We're looking at... what I'm trying to say is people are saying that it's clear that, Red Bull have built their car only for Verstappen, and it's clear Ferrari have only built their car for Charles Leclerc. I'm just trying to say that if they're using that as an excuse as to why, these guys are never going to be as good as Max, then, okay then, so is Valtteri Bottas then only having a car is Mercedes only building a car that's good enough for Bottas then? So, I just wanted to state it out there. I don't want to defend, I don't want to, cause any issues or anything like that. But it's something that I thought. So, that's what I'm trying to, stay out of here. That's, how I think of it. So, you could be right, you could be wrong about it. I think the Merc is built for both cars because Bottas is closer to Lewis Hamilton than he is to Max. Yeah, that's what I mean. So, but then why is Bottas not performing? Is it because of his form? Is it because he doesn't like something about his car? What is the, what's the problem? That's what I'm trying to say. They're paying Hamilton 30 odd million, so why wouldn't they make a car for him? What I'm trying to say is that, why aren't they making a car that is suitable so that both drivers can go at it. Because we looked at the hybrid era, you know, Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg, you couldn't really separate them. You sort of knew which tracks that Hamilton was going to be better than Rosberg was, and Rosberg was going to be better than Hamilton was. There was no one in that car, in that team, that was a direct leader. Let's face it. At the end of the day, they had an advantage. They went out there and they sorted it out on track. One weekend, you had Hamilton dominating for like the next 3 races. All of a sudden, you know, let's go back to Japan 2016, which was probably a crucial race in the championship. You know, Hamilton stuck it on pole. Great effort from him. Got a bad start, bad race. Rosberg, bang, off he goes, wins. You know, he won the final 3 races of the 2015 season. He comes in, he smashes the first 4 races of the next season. Hamilton doesn't take until Monaco to win a Formula 1 Grand Prix. And then, you know, he goes on a bit of a roll in the mid-season. Rosberg comes back at him again. So it's, you know, it's... I'm putting it out there. Like, for me, I don't... You know, this whole thing about... Do I not even have an Austria set? I've built all these sets. They haven't been saved. I'll just use the Zandvoort set. Fine. Whatever. So... That's what I'm saying. Do you support Arsenal? I do, yes. Have done for my whole life. So, yeah. Yes and no. In 2017/18, Ferrari probably had the best car. I'll get onto that in a second. And Hamilton still won. But yes, the car is built towards Hamilton. Bottas should leave Mercedes. Well, I mean, let's look at it in the eye that in 2017, I think Mercedes still had the quickest car. 2018, they definitely didn't. I always stick by that. Everyone argues against me that Ferrari had the best car in 2018 and you're a fraud and blah, blah, blah. 2017, I think Mercedes had the best car. I think, you know, Ferrari, reliability-wise, were weaker. Mercedes, though, had just a quicker car in a straight line. And I think this game is still broken again, which is absolutely fantastic, and I love it so much. Oh, no, it's not. It didn't break. It lived. So... I just wanted to put that out there. You know, people... Heavy wheel spin. Three Grand Prix. You know, you sort out... That's just no fun. You sort out all your differences, and I'll make my comeback again. There we go, I'm pretty much back where I started now. Good. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. So, I don't think... No one's going to build a car specifically for one driver, because it's a team. You've got... Right, guy, I'm not a brake marker, okay? I'm a car. No one's going to build a car specifically for one driver because you are a race team. It's about what drivers handle with better cars. Like, we're seeing Seb, all of a sudden, really, really unhappy with his car. In general, everyone's getting crashed out right now. You know, we're seeing Seb, a completely different man. The guy clearly is not happy with that. Oh my god, that's just awful. And I'm going to hit him off as well. Fab. Yo, fam. Fam. I feel like we've got Albons in this lobby. Can't drive. Sorry, Albon. Love you, mate. Imagine if I ever did a Formula 1 video with Albon. I think he'd never want to speak to me again, to be honest. But yeah, I think... I don't know. I just... I don't really know where to go with Bottas, to be honest, in this race. I think he's a bit finished now for me, Valtteri. Should he leave the team? No, why would Valtteri Bottas need to leave the team? Mercedes clearly have got a driver that he's never going to win a World Championship, let's face it. Bottas is never going to win a Formula 1 World Championship. You can call him Bottas 2.0, 3.0, 4.0, all this stupid, you know, malarkey of .0s, etc. At the end of the day, Bottas is not going to win a Formula 1 World Championship. I think we need to just put that out there, like, slate and clean. He's never going to win one. What he's doing is, I mean, not here in Italy, obviously. Not for a lot of the season, he hasn't really been able to do it. Is that he is being able to just pick up those constructors' points. Because Hamilton is just such a good driver in Formula 1, that, you know, all they need is just another driver to just add on the points, while Lewis just does it all on his own, really. That's kind of what it is. Like, we're not going to beat around the bush here. Let's be real. I think that's what we can put from this, you know. That Lewis is the great driver, and you just need Bottas in there to just be like, just be a wingman. No other way of saying it. You've got it very deep into that corner, my friend. So that was very close to damage. Made it stick though. You're using ERS. I'm just not gonna let you through there, am I? They're having a smashing battle. I'll read some of your chats in a minute. I'm just, you know, trying to concentrate on not dying again. Nothing I can do there when it's a McLaren just coming on like an absolute idiot. I'm sorry. Like, what the fuck? Like, literally. I just tried to... but Bottas isn't getting the wins. Again, I'll check it in a second. I can't see what it says. Bottas has nowhere else to go unless Mercedes starts not dominating. Why leave by far detected? Exactly. Why are you going to leave the top team? If the top team want you to stay, then you're not going to say, oh, sorry, I'm not good enough, so I'm just going to leave now. Not a chance you'd be doing that. You'd be like, yo, if you still want me, I'm staying. Like, because what's the need in not wanting to... Why would you not want to leave? He's not gonna turn around and go, do you know what, guys? You know, I'm playing for Liverpool right now, but I'm on the... I mean, football's different. Okay, let's put that out there. That's a bad example. Football's completely different. How have I just managed to do this? Absolute stellar overtake. Oh my... I'm an absolute god. I should be given knighthood by the Queen for that. You just tried to do the cheese move. Thoughts on Ferrari? Probably... I mean, put it this way. I'm doing better than them in this race. Nah, Ferrari... I'm in two frames of mind, right? Okay. You know, first of all, I'm glad that Ferrari are at the back of the field. This is probably going to sound weird to you. I'm glad that they're at the back, and I'm also upset that then... Right, okay, that just happened. I'm glad that they're at the back, but I'm also... what's it called? I'm also glad that they are... yes, so I can't say my words properly. I'm glad they're at the back, but I'm also upset that they're at the back. So let me hear this out, right? So I'm glad they're at the back for this reason, right? It's quite clear that whatever they had in 2019, engine-wise, was quite frankly illegal. I don't care what anyone wants to say about it, you know, because they're over a second or so down in the straights per lap, you know, around certain tracks like Monza. And it's clear to see that, oh my god, it's quite clear to see, oh my god, you know, at the same time. There we go, I'll just take a P6 out of nowhere. So, here's what we got, right? So, they did a qualifying comparison, I believe, of, what is it? Tom, did you see Mercedes spent 440 million? They spent 333 million last year. The budget cap's 145 million. That's the point. That's what the regulation change is all about. And the cost cap is all about. The cost cap's actually already been introduced this year. I think it's 250 million, I want to say, in general. So, yeah. There's already a cost cap in place, I believe, for this season. Unless that's next season, actually. I can't remember. But that's what I mean. You know, you spend 333 million to win the championship. And then they're going to drop that down to 145 million. It's a brilliant idea, cost cap. It definitely is. You're going to stop the top teams from, you know, romping all the way up the field and winning by spending loads and loads of money. And it's all about how you spend that money. Also, then, what's going to help as well is team survivability. Because if you have a look at the prize money, then I doubt the prize money is going to be any different. Because if you have a look at it, right, so they put out the thing. I think it was in the race as well. So Mercedes spent 333 million to win the championship, right? They then got all their prize money and all their sponsor money back in, and they, I think, made a net loss of like, on either it was a net loss or a net gain of 16 million, right? If you then have a look at, yes, driver of the day, let's go. If you then have a look at them in terms of, you know, with 145 million, let's say, oh, there we go, it's like, I think it was either, I believe it was something like 16 million loss or 16 million profit, right? If you then say that you could only spend 145 million instead of the 330 million, all of a sudden, those teams, they're making profit all the time. So it brings team security, and it brings the balance back into the group, and it also brings the security that no one's going to be able to if you actually go bust, then there's a bit of a problem. But it stops that because you're having to constantly spend. Now they don't have to, so it's a great idea. Back to Ferrari though, yeah, they're just absolutely awful. Like, there's no other word about it. Like I was saying though, so I'm happy that they're at the back because whatever they had last year, it was quite clear that was illegal. And on their Spa hot lap, they were showing that they were, I think, half second down in the first sector in Spa, another like 7/10 down in the middle sector at Spa. Sorry, in the final sector at Spa. So that's 1.2 seconds down. But they were actually quicker in the middle sector. So aerodynamic, in the difficult middle sector of Spa, they were quicker than their car from last year. So then if they had a better power unit than that, then they would have been 1.2 plus that 1.5. They would have been the 1.7 seconds faster that everyone else has been this year, there or thereabouts, because everyone's improved by about 1.5 seconds compared to last year. So if you look at Ferrari, their engine has been put back, and quite frankly, it's going to be really tough for them because when it comes to engine development, if you've been developing an engine which has been illegal, you've then got to take however many years back and then try and step back up again. So, I mean, in fairness though, it did take Ferrari 1 year to perfect, to get this from the worst engine on the grid to the second best engine on the grid. Because if we saw, they went from having the worst on the grid to, in 2014, to then having one of the best in 2015. So, it doesn't take Ferrari that long all the time, but we'll have to wait and see. So, it is what it is. Yo, big up the guys that are celebrating. I'm wearing an Arsenal t-shirt. I'm an Arsenal fan. Yes, I am, indeed. Big up my team. I will always support Arsenal. I will not stop at that. I know there's a lot of awful drivers in this lobby, but I can't do anything about that. Roses are red, violets are blue, surprise, Ferrari are doomed. Are you looking forward to Mugello? 100%, man. It might not be good for overtaking, but lots of people will make mistakes and we could have a few safety cars to spice up the race. Yeah, man, of course I'm looking forward to Mugello. I'm really looking forward to it. It should be fun. It'll be entertaining. It's going to be new. It's going to be different. Yeah, overtaking might be quite difficult, but who cares? It's a brand new circuit on the F1 calendar, and I think everyone, it's a good time for Formula 1. They've just come off the back of one of the best races that we've ever witnessed. To now go to a brand new circuit, you bring that unknown element with it there. So, yeah. We could have some surprises in qualifying because it's hard to overtake, and we could have a midfield guy finishing third. I actually tell you what, right? I'm actually interested to see how the Red Bulls and the AlphaTauris qualified because it was quite clear that they took the biggest hit from... right, I'm going to go back to this, but I'm also going to change it. So let's go 3-3. That down to 50. This is going to be hard to get through all of this in time yet. Like 7, and then that's like 8, and like 4, and that's going to go to that. That's about close. Don't know how I got on with that, but yeah, it's cool. No, there's no damage on these lobbies. Thoughts on Ocon? Ricciardo is stuffing him. And, yeah, Ricciardo's stuffing him, and then... Oops. When it comes to... Dude, I'm literally on your fucking inside, man. Oh my god. Is there any fucking point in doing lobbies when this happens? Oh my god. I got an illegal overtake. Dude, I reset to... I don't know if he's going to be places back. Just suck my balls. Thoughts... Yeah, Ocon... He's been stuffed by Ricciardo this year. I can't put it that way. And I think when Alonso comes in, he'll get stuffed by Alonso. Yeah, I don't really have anything to say on Ocon, but he's just not really been that good. But then again, he has been out of Formula 1 for a little bit. So you've got to put that into perspective as well. The guy's not been in Formula 1 since 2018. So he wasn't obviously in 2019. I might have done a test in 2019. And then something like that. So... Oh, that's wide. Oh, that's very wide. So yeah, benefit of the doubt. It's your first season back after a sabbatical, or not a sabbatical, but a being dropped unnecessarily. So I think you got to put that into perspective and realise that hang on a second, this guy's lost a bit, lost some time. Whereas Ricciardo's been in that Renault car since 2018 or whenever he joined, 2019, sorry. So there's more to come from the likes of him. He's lead team driver. So Ocon's real test is going to be next year. This year, he's kind of been let off the hook slightly. They're going to crash. I'm then going to pick up 1 place. I told you, I'm a genius. I understood the future. I'm like a time traveller. This guy's clearly not running with as much wing as me. Oh my god, he's got horrible lines. You're trying to go for a dumb move, which is never going to happen for you. Nice. Nice. Good overtake. Let's come back at you again. I'm using it, shut up. What else have we got? Now people want to say he's a good young driver. What, Stroll? I wouldn't say he's a young driver anymore. Well, say that, he's not even 25 years old, but I still don't... It's a hard one. It's a hard one, me judging Stroll. It's very hard because I just don't like him. It's as simple as that. I just don't. I really don't like Stroll. I know it's a bit like, why do you like Stroll, blah, 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 why do you make money, blah, blah, blah. I think, to be honest, I think Vettel will sign for Aston Martin this year. I think, to be honest, Racing Point have just screwed over Perez so much, and I don't like that. I don't like it when a team screws another driver over. That's when I'm just a bit like, you know, I'm a bit like skeptical as to what's your... Right, I'm sorry, why'd you have to corner cut me, and why are you just now... You cut the corner to overtake me, and then you smash into me. I'll just gain the place back on exit, it's fine. Doesn't bother me. That's what I don't like. He just doesn't... He gets screwed over by his team. And I don't like that. I'm not taking anything away from Stroll in the slightest. You're probably the dumbest driver I've ever met in my life. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. Are you fucking kidding me? Why do I even bother? Oh, why do I even bother? I'm going to hit someone now as well. Yeah, fuck this shit, man. Stroll is 4th. That's what I mean, like... Okay, I've retired from sessions, so it's not like we did that. Where is Formula 1? Give me the championship actually. I want to see what it is quickly. Oh, it's not. It's on F1.com because Twitter never puts it out straight away, and it's kind of annoying me. I don't want. This is very hard for me because I don't want to take anything away from Stroll. I just don't like how the team is. I don't like Racing Point and how they're running things. Give me the championship. Right, is this the championship? Yeah, this looks like the championship, right? So Stroll is P4 in the championship, right? Tied on points with Lando Norris. He's got the same amount of points. Stroll's obviously had the podium, so he stays in front. This is what I really don't like, okay? Is that Sergio Perez currently has 34 points, right? And Stroll's got 57. First of all, obviously, Sergio Perez missed 2 races due to COVID. You know, it is what it is. It happened. It's as simple as that, okay? So we need to put that into perspective. That he missed out on those races because of COVID-19. So, you know, there's something that we need to put as like a limelight of, right? Put that in perspective. At the Belgian Grand Prix, they didn't pit Sergio Perez, and they actually gave him the wrong strategy because it made him finish behind Lance Stroll, for that matter. Fairness, Stroll beat him at the Spanish Grand Prix, I think it was. And then again here at the Italian Grand Prix, Stroll was given a different strategy. You know, I mean, it could have been a role reversal or something like that. But I just don't like the way that Racing Point are treating Perez. I feel like they're just making Perez uncomfortable, and that's why he's not performing. My opinion. That's what I think, so... Put it this way, Ewan, right? When it comes to you supporting Lance Stroll and getting the disrespect for it, I was given death threats for supporting Lewis Hamilton and Mercedes-Benz. It's Formula 1. It's a toxic community. It's as simple as that. I fucking hate nearly everyone in the F1 community, to be honest. I was literally... you know, when I released my 2017 video, right? of the driving around in whatever it is, the what's it called? I'm trying to think of the words. What's the word I'm trying to look for? The 0% AI video, right? And pretty much throughout the entirety of me, supporting Mercedes-Benz, I've just turned this off so I can just mute it, right? I have been told so many times that I hate Formula One if Lewis Hamilton doesn't win. I've been told to kill myself because I only support those that are good. I'll only support Mercedes because they're good. The amount of times that I have been told things and threatened with things because of the team that I support, because, yes, they're winning all the races in the world, is quite ridiculous, to be honest. So, the thing is, right, Ewan, is I love to banter about Lance Stroll and say that, about the money jokes, because to me, that's just, a cheeky little bit of bants in there, isn't it? It's like saying that, me and you, when we play Star Wars, for example, right? There's a bit of those bants, right? So, Stroll's got a bit of cash. You pay, so let's say free practice, right? I've said this so many times, right? Free practice run, Lance Stroll goes off, breaks his front wing back in the pits. I'll just make that quick little banterous joke. Don't worry about that front wing. Stroll can pay for it. It's all good. But, at the end of the day, that doesn't mean that Stroll is useless in Formula One because he's got money. Because at the end of the day, yes, he's got money, and money helps you in Formula One. But everyone's got money to help them get into Formula One. Some of them, just got luckier that they didn't have as much money. But, and someone like me, I look at Lewis Hamilton, and people think to me, like, let's go back to the 70th anniversary Grand Prix, right? I'll get the stats up, right? So if I go onto my F1 debate videos now, I should probably make a playlist for them just to help it out a little bit easier, right? Let's go over to it, right, and show what I mean. So if we go to videos, right, and I'm going to go over to my 70th anniversary F1 debate videos. So where's that at? So that's the Spanish Grand Prix. This is Pirelli ruined this race, right? So if I go to this race, okay, so I made a complaint about the Grand Prix. I didn't like it. I didn't enjoy it. There was a lot of things that were wrong in my opinion, right? So if we go over to this race now, okay, I got I mean, my face looks ugly in this video anyway, to be honest. I don't like doing full screen like that, right? So we've got 24 likes and then 9 dislikes. I thought it was 24% or something like that. I actually got a hell of a lot of stick for this because people thought that I was crying and whining because Mercedes-Benz didn't win a race, right? I look at this Italian Grand Prix and I think to myself, this is probably the best Grand Prix that I've ever watched, all right? This Italian Grand Prix. Did Mercedes win it? No. What was the 2019 German Grand Prix? Did you thoroughly enjoy that one? Yeah, it's one of my favourite races ever. Did Mercedes win that one? No. Canada 2011. Did Mercedes win that one? No. When did Mercedes come into Formula One? They came into Formula One in 2010. Did I support them from 2010? Yes, I did. Hamilton was my favourite driver, and Mercedes-Benz was my favourite team. So I had a bit of a leeway on that front, okay? And then you look at that as a whole, and you think, yeah, call me what you want, threaten me with what you want. I don't give a fuck, to be honest. So there's that. I mean, Akmal kind of put it great. In terms of being a glory hunter, look whose shirt I'm wearing. I have wore the amount of Arsenal shirts that are in my goddamn drawer is mad. That's last year's top. That's a Puma one. This is a different. Can we just put this into perspective then? I'll get it up on my stream here, right? This is what I mean about long-term support, right? So I've got this Arsenal top on, right? We won 2 trophies, right? The FA Cup and the Community Shield. This is a very different thing, right? If we look at this top then, guys. This is O2. O2 sponsorship. How long ago was this? In terms of supporting Arsenal, I haven't supported them for because they won stuff. Because, they won 2 trophies, yes. But I'm going to refresh the lobby in a second, right? But there's this. And I've even got my surname on the back. Look. And the reason that I got number 10 on the back was because I was 10 years old, I think. I'm pretty sure it's because of my age. 10. 02. That's my point. That's my judgment. So, I didn't have... Oh, God. That's good. Yeah. I didn't buy Mercedes merch that recently, okay? So, back, 2010 or whenever, I didn't buy the merch because I never bought F1 merch, right? So, it's putting that into perspective. That's kind of want to kind of shove out there because it really does get on my fucking nerves when people talk about that. So, I mean, that's what I'm trying to say. You know, in terms of what you're saying, you and Freddie, that right? You and I'll put you into that perspective. You know, you're talking about Stroll and how people have slated you for that. I did initially slate Stroll, and when it came to Stroll doing well at the start of this season, I was like, okay, he's doing great. Now let's see how he's getting along. And we'll see how he's doing. And in fairness to him, he's been doing good. Like, I can't fault what Stroll's been doing. The only thing that I can fault Stroll for today is that he got the restart wrong. He probably could have won that Grand Prix. Maybe. I don't know. He was closing in on Gasly, so he would have had track position, which he did. He didn't get the restart right. He messed up on the start, too much wheel spin. Then he locked up his tyres trying to go for an attack, went wide. I think Stroll could have won it, in my opinion. I'm just saying that. That is a mistake on Stroll's part. But he still got himself a podium, so you can't complain. That's all I'm going to say on that. That's all I'm going to say. So, yeah, it is what it is. So, nothing against Lando, but he is in the same situation as Stroll, and no one talks about it. Yeah, I mean, what's it called? Stroll was in the Lando Norris has been absolutely killing it this season. I just think Sainz has just overall not been as strong at the start of the season, and then he's been unlucky. Go back to Belgium, he was out qualifying Norris, and all of a sudden, boom! Oh dear, his what's it called? His car wouldn't, he couldn't get off the grid or whatever it was. So, it's unfortunate on that front. Actually, going to look at the Constructors' Championship. I want to see how the Constructors has changed this season. So Mercedes are on 281, Red Bull are on 158, McLaren are now on 98 points, Racing Point are on 82. Renault are on 71. Ferrari are on 61 because they didn't score. AlphaTauri are now up to 47. Mad. I don't think AlphaTauri will beat Ferrari this season. I don't think AlphaTauri got enough to do that. But, it is what it is. People gloss over Norris being a paid driver because he's decent and he's loved by the community. Yeah. What's Norris's background in terms of pay? I'm not going to start a lobby in a minute, guys, because I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. These lobbies are absolutely stupid, and I kind of just want to talk about F1 a bit more. So, just give me a sec. I'm going to let me Google up Norris a minute. Where's his backing come from? Because no one's mentioned Norris as a paid driver. I didn't believe he was a paid driver, but I could be wrong. Let me have a look. I have to type in his full name, don't I? Who's Norris, guys? His backer. How much dollar has he got in his thingy? Belgian, British. I didn't even know that. Let's have a little look. Born in Bristol, his father, Adam Norris, is a retired pensions manager, one of Bristol's richest people, and the 501st richest in the entire country. Right. Well, okay. Oh, he went to a private school as well. Yeah, there's reasons to say why Norris is a paid driver then. You can say that. Yeah, man. Guys had, what's it called? Guy's got his father's the 501st richest man in the entire the UK. So there's that to it. I think what you have to say in general is that every single person in Formula One has had money as a way. So that's kind of what it was at the end of the day. I'm just trying to look at like Lewis Hamilton for example and see how he how he got his back in. So he started karting. Hamilton's father bought him a radio control car, which gave his first taste of racing. That's nothing amazing. That's just a remote control car. His father bought him go-karts when he was 6 and promised to support his racing career as long as he worked hard at school to support his son. So, Anthony took the redundancy from his position as information technology manager and became a contractor, sometimes working up to 3 jobs at a time while still attending his son's races. Anthony later set up his own computer company, still managing Lewis. Hamilton later ended his working relationship with his father. So, Hamilton is an example whereby they didn't have all the money in the world. Like, Anthony had 3 jobs in his time. So, yeah, you're right. Lando was, you could technically say, is a quote-unquote paid driver because he's got money. Ocon's parents set up his own, literally sold their house. So yeah. Well, I'm sorry, but you can't say that I can't say that Hamilton's a paid driver in the slightest. He got bought a go-kart. That's it. And it says Anthony Hamilton literally had 3 jobs to fund everything, to help. You know, if you look at the likes of Lando Norris, I'm sorry, I have to say the likes of Stroll, they got through the junior categories, which helps them, you know, get to Formula 1. So there's an element of money because, these guys got some money, they can help support us. But if you look at it as well, they also had money they also had the talent to get through those junior categories. I have to look at Hamilton and just say that Norris's dad owned Green Giant. Is that what it was? I'm surprised you're actually in these lobbies, Tom. I thought you chatted all this shit about me, but hey ho. It is what it is. I'm not really bothered. It's all cool in my eyes. I don't have any bad blood against that, so I'm fine. What is his... Does it tell me a bit more about his dad then, or can I not get that up? Give me your daddy. Give me your daddy. Oh, it doesn't give me I could just Google him. Who is Adam Norris? The man, the myth, the legend. Manager, director of pensions business. However, 3 years later he retired, building a successful pensions organization. Which is a pensions man. Doesn't say anything about Green Giant. Not by the looks of it. Okay, fair enough. Speaking about the paid driver tag, Lando Norris said, I don't really like to talk about it, but compared to Large Stroll, my father is not near as wealthy. Mad. What's his net worth? I'll get his net worth up. This is nice. This is fun. I don't really care, to be honest. I'm not really bothered. From what I can see so far, just looking at those, quite clear that Hamilton and Ocon are not paid drivers in the slightest. So. But to be honest, when it comes to anyone with money in the slightest, you've got to look at the fact that they need to have. I'm putting ghosting on this time. Absolute cancer if I don't have that thing on. Give me the Towery this time. God damn it, I want the Towery. I'll do like 3 races again. Silverstone, yeah, cool. I don't know, Hungary, sure. And then USA, why not? Actually, no, Mexico. I'm gonna go Mexico. So yeah. Norris went to a private school and Hamilton's dad worked 3 jobs to get him a chance. Exactly, that's kind of the point. So there's that into perspective. Like I said, I'll be 100% perfectly out here. Had no idea that Lewis Hamilton had that. Sorry, not Lewis Hamilton. I didn't realize that Lando Norris had that much money support compared to that. So yeah, that's my bad, man. I had no idea, no clue at all. What I'm happy about for Lance Stroll, though, actually, going back onto the topic of him, is I'm very happy that he's actually starting to, he's beginning to prove himself more and more. I don't like what they're doing with Perez, don't get me wrong, but in terms of looking at Stroll normally, I think in qualifying he's still a little bit off. He's getting there, but in the races the consistency is still there. He's still getting the consistency. He's still picking it up. So I can I'm happy with what he's doing. So I don't have a problem with that. I feel gutted for Sainz, man. I feel absolutely gutted for Sainz that he didn't win that one. Though if Lewis wasn't in McLaren driver program, he would have got anywhere near F1 probably. Yeah, but then you have to look at, Lewis Hamilton then showed the talent to attract Ron Dennis to then sign him on. So that's your actual type of that's the counter argument. As Fernando Alonso said actually, when he was when he's talking about oh, rain. That's not very good. When it was talking about, talent and money, yeah, you've got all the money in the world, and teams with slightly less finances are gonna, come along and be like, right, I want some of your dollar. That's what it is. But if you look at the teams that are struggling the most, you have to look at what's it called? You have to look at the point of, there's going to be some money on offer we could do with someone just bringing some investment. And it's true, like F1 teams can do with the investment. You look at Latifi, for example. He's got sponsors that he's brought into that team. Felipe Nasser brought in sponsors to the team. People bring Kubica brought the Orleon or whatever the bloody hell it is into the Alfa Romeo team. They do bring sponsors onto the team, and that then gives the team a sponsor bonus, because the sponsors will be like, we want to hit this goal, we want to do this, etc. So I've just gone very deep into the corner. I'm going to have to... I don't want to rejoin and smash him off the road, because I'm not that type of driver. So you've got to look at it that way as well. So, you look at F1 2020 My Team, for example, and you see these sponsor goals. At the end of every season, they'll get money for their sponsors. And if there are drivers out there that have got money and they can bring in the sponsors, then you've got to sign them. I'm sorry. Marcus Ericsson's another one. Yeah, you're right. He had something. I can't remember what he had. But he had some sponsors as well that he brought to Sauber. And it kept him his drive probably for a bit longer than what anyone would have expected. But that's what I mean. Felipe Nasser. Yeah, there's so many drivers, like I said, that have had sponsors that you have to recognise. So, something to look at. Bit of a scruffy opening lap here, but... I think what you need to look at then as well is in terms of the quote-unquote pay drivers, there are paid drivers out there that have just genuinely been useless. I'm sorry, like, you just have to look at it. And you look at, like, Lando Norris, who I now believe is indeed a driver with lots of money. There's no other way about it. If you look at his father, like, man's got plenty of cash in the bank. You've got to look at, him. He's been able to he's having one of his best seasons so far in Formula 1, which is weird because you say that after 8 rounds and he's got 57 points, but that's still a monumental achievement. Oh my god, I can't get fucking power down. Oh, fuck my life. I hate racing in this game. It's so crap. That's... I can't... You didn't watch the race? Get the highlights on, man. Get the highlights or get a rerun going, man. I'm too busy reading the chat at the same time that I'm just not bothered to focus on this race. Plus it's turning into 8 anyway, so what's the point? Also, by the way, you in the Star Wars community is more toxic than... It's not as more toxic as the F1 community, but the Star Wars community is toxic, man. So, yeah. But you look at Norris and you think, yeah, he's got money in his car, in his back pocket, sorry. But he's got the talent to put in the effort, and that's what counts. And I think, for me, I'm going to be... You can call me biased again because I support Hamilton, blah-de-blah-de-blah, but that man literally was living on nothing with a father that put everything into it, and he's proven to be one of the greatest drivers of all time. And every single driver, for me, is, he's one of the greatest. You can never compare drivers from different eras of Formula 1. That's just ridiculous and stupid. Because you'll never get what you want. You can sort of look at the record books. Yeah, Hamilton's got the most amount of poles. Blah, blah, blah. Because even though Hamilton didn't win all of his titles, you've got to look at, some other areas to look at as well in terms of, having the best car, not having the best car, etc. And race wins, Schumacher, it's clear that, for the period of 2000 to 2004, that Ferrari was absolutely unstoppable. 2000, you could say, he had a close fight with Hakkinen and then pulled it off in the end of the season. 2001, I think, was kind of close-ish. I can't really remember off the top of my head. 2002 was a Ferrari walkover. 2003 was pretty hard season, actually, in fairness. That's like a 2018 season in my eyes to Hamilton and, Hamilton and Vettel had. And then you look at 2004, absolute walkover. 2005 got one win by luck, really, because obviously no one turned up. And then 2006 was a championship contender. It happens. So I can't race in the wet in this game. It's so hate.
Brilliant. Nice move.
Still made the uptick though. So yeah. How did I gain so much time off exit? Man. It was the first time, yeah, since 2013 that one of the top 3 teams didn't win a Formula 1 race. First time since Kimi Räikkönen in Australia. In the Lobbies. I need to sneeze. It's alright though. I still made the corner. Still made the apex. Better than most of my corners, that one. When I wasn't sneezing. Nice some of you. Oh yeah, 100%. I know what you're saying. Like, Gasly wasn't great in that Red Bull, but for me, Gasly wasn't given the time. I know you're probably thinking, what? Are you mad? Gasly had a rough start to the season. He didn't get a summer break to really, cool himself off and, come back fighting a little bit more. He was just, like, kicked out instantly. It was clearly something that he wasn't happy with that car. He was probably performing maybe a touch worse than Albon, but Albon hasn't really shown anything either. To me, Albon has just been very weak. In a car, in my opinion, that Red Bull car is the second best team on the field. There's no one close to that. Whereas last year, when Gasly was in there, you could argue Ferrari for most of the season was ahead of them. So you'd expect Gasly then to be getting, P4, P5, P6s. He didn't get them much, and I totally agree with you on that. What he did do, though, was what he didn't get was the time. He only got half a season, which for me is pretty ridiculous. And Albon, pretty much now combined, has had a full season, give or take. And he hasn't put anything in my book to say that you're going to win a race. Or even get a podium, for that matter. The only time Albon's really going to get a podium, in my eyes, is if he gets another one of those type of crazy races. And then Lewis Hamilton will be there to punt him off, but, that's beside the point. So the only defense that I have for the likes of Bottas, for example, is that even though Bottas is having an absolutely dreadful season, I need to look at it and think, well, actually, if I look at Valtteri, when Lewis is having some bad weekends, Valtteri is there to capitalise. Yes, he's in the best car in the grid, that's fine, but there are some times when it's not the overall quickest car, and he's just better. 2017 and 18 are the perfect examples. Like Russia, he was best in Ferrari. I think got pole position, front row lockout actually. And you've got, I'm just making claims there, but so when Verstappen's not on form, like when Verstappen in that race there, DNF'd, you need Albon to be the man. Like the Styrian Grand Prix, when Verstappen had initially DNF'd, Albon wasn't anywhere. I don't think he was even in a podium place. So. I'm not trying to defend Gasly that, Gasly, wasn't, was a superstar in Red Bull, because, let's face it, he wasn't a superstar in Red Bull. There's no doubt about it. Gasly got dropped from that seat because Red Bull believed he needed to get dropped, and I completely understand that. So, there's that to put into perspective as well. So, I'm trying to, balance some things out here, so I'm not trying to defend Gasly in that one. I don't think it's the fact that Albon hasn't got a podium because of Lewis Hamilton is so confusing. The thing is, right, is the Brazilian Grand Prix I actually don't think was a penalty on Hamilton's behalf. I still don't believe it was. I just think the gap was there, and then Albon just turned in, not bothering to look at his mirrors and grant the overall space. The Styrian Grand Prix, I think, then was a fair penalty. Although there was still extra runoff on the outside that he could have used, which Hamilton used on the first lap in that race. So both for me were 50-50s. Yes, Hamilton didn't took him out, but what we need to realise is that Albon was on fresh tyres in both scenarios, whereas In the Brazilian Grand Prix, it's slightly different because he wasn't on, he wasn't on fresh tyres compared to everyone. He was on, Lewis had to pit because, he didn't pit the first time around. Albon still couldn't catch him, though, when he was on fresh soft tyres versus Lewis's mediums in that Brazilian Grand Prix. Then Lewis pitted for a second time. Ferrari took each other out. Bottas was out of the race. So Albon was pretty much going to have a podium anyway. So, yeah. There's that to that. And then if you look at... What's it called? The Styrian Grand Prix. Verstappen was out of the equation. So, Verstappen was out of the equation. You had... Ferrari aren't quick enough. So Albon should get a podium because it's only Mercedes out front. And then he has the opportunity to get a podium/win by overtaking, Lewis Hamilton. Yes, he got taken out. I get that, okay? What I actually am going to do quickly is I'm going to get back up my good old Wikipedia page. I want to go back to this Austrian Grand Prix and I want to see how long Albon was in the podium places for during the race. That's what I want to look at. So, 2020 Formula 1 World Championship. Let me go to the Styrian Grand Prix. No, it's the Austrian Grand Prix. Here we go. Right, so, it's probably not going to tell me when he got into... Oh, fucking hell, I've got to go through all of it. Just crap. Give me the race report, please. Thank you. Right. So, Styrian Grand Prix. Perfect. This is what I want. It's not going to tell me who was in what position for what matches. God damn it. It's not going to tell me. This is annoying. I literally wanted to know who was in what position, because then I would have been able to back my point. I could just get the race highlights up, to be honest. Is my desktop audio on? If it is, then that's going to be a bit awkward. Desktop audio is off. Cool. Right. Give me the F1 2020 Austrian Grand Prix right now. Where was him? 2020 Austrian Grand Prix. Just give me the Austrian Grand Prix right now. No, the Austrian one, you plum. Absolute plum. Fine, just don't give me that. Just don't at all. Give me that. I'll do it this way instead, right? Video, give me... Belgium, Italy, here we go. This is going to help me out. 70th anniversary, top 10s, blah, 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 blah. Just not just go to videos and find it that way. It would be it would just be way, 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 way quicker. Yeah, cool. I'm already at Spain, 70th anniversary. I need a setup because I'm going to go to my Hungary setup because it actually is there. Someone's going to find it before I do, but that's the Styrian Grand Prix. That's the highlights for the Styrian Grand Prix. Austrian Grand Prix, this is what I want. Where is Albon in all of this? Started the race in P4, fine. Cool. So where was he running then? So Hamilton tried to fight him off. So then he was running in P3 until he had his problem. Oh god, that's raining again, you kidding me? Okay, so he was running in P3 for most of the Grand Prix. By the looks of it. Yeah. So he was running in P3 for pretty much the entire Grand Prix. Okay. That's fine. Okay, I kind of take that point back then a little bit. That's the type of races that you need Albon to be doing. Is to... I'm too busy on my screen. Trying to concentrate at the same time as trying to make my points up. So that's the type of races that you want to see Albon doing. You want to see him, when Verstappen is out of the race like that, being able to carry home the points for Red Bull. And granted, bar obviously the safety car when some drivers did different strategies, he was in P3. So I could take that one back. That's what you need to see from him every single race. The fact is that's the only time I've seen Alex Albon run in a podium position and look committed to finishing in a podium in a normal Grand Prix circumstance. The safety car then just allowed him to get fresh soft tyres on and you know, move further. Whereas in any other circumstance, I just haven't seen it from him. So, but I know people are, you know, they're like, oh well, Gasly was awful as well. I know, okay, I'm not dumb. I knew Gasly was pretty poor. I just don't think Gasly was given enough support or time. Because Gasly wanted an experienced race engineer of Simon Rennie, not Sam Rennie in particular, but wanted an experienced race engineer as well to help him, you know, get a bit more experience in there. Red Bull wouldn't give it to him, but they gave it to Albon. They give more support to Albon, but then we don't know what happens off camera compared to, you know, that like Drive to Survive was a very interesting dynamic to that. And for me, I think they just, I don't know what Red Bull do in the background, but I don't think Gasly was supported enough by the team. Could be wrong, but I don't think he was given the support. Do I just cruise at this point because I'm already 3.5 seconds clear? You know what I find really weird about racing on these games, on F1 nowadays, is that I obviously play. I obviously do a lot of spare time just testing out F1 Journey with performance mods and while recording and editing the series. All these normal cars just look weird to me. They just look really strange. So it's kind of funny. I look at this Alpha Tower and I think this is an Audi. Why is it not branded Audi? Or I look at, you know, the Racing Point and I think, where's my Jag? I want my beautiful green and black Jag. I can't see the chat a minute, guys, because I'm on a different tab, so whatever you're commenting right now, I can't see it, and it's very hard for me to find a spot, so I have to wait to the end of the race and I'll catch back up with it again. Also, I could stop talking for a little bit, just so I can get my voice back a bit. We're talking like non-stop. Purple.
Good job. That was the fastest lap of the race so far.
Team Purple in this bish. Better middle sector, Lance. This is what happens when I don't talk and I concentrate on a race. Well, obviously the premises of this stream is to talk about the Italian Grand Prix mostly. At least it gives the F1 debate more views. Haha. I'm quite aware that there's more energy in my car, Jeffrey. Perfectly aware of this scenario. Been royally mugged off on my fastest lap there. Bit upset about that.
car sounds so weird. Any purpose? I think, anyway, I'm not sure. Kablam. Right, I can look back at the chat again then. Gasly was driving a car that was like a Williams to him because he's in a car that is designed for one driver only, not a team. This is the thing. Like I put that argument towards, you know, the likes of Leclerc and Vettel, and then Bottas and Hamilton, and it's a bit like people are half-hearted about it. So Alex Albon realistically should be finishing P4 in every race. Only Hamilton, Verstappen, and Bottas should be ahead of him. That's exactly what I'm saying. Username is taken. Albon can be better. He needs to be way better than what he's doing. His qualifying is awful and his races is awful. So Albon was barely in the podium position during the Austrian race. I watched it back over. So he was in P3 from when Verstappen DNF'd on like lap 12 to lap 52. Then he got back into the podium after another lap. So he's been in there for about 40 odd laps he was in P3 in fairness. So yeah. He should have got the podium instead of Gasly. Yeah, but then, you know, for me, I feel like he should have left more space for Hamilton. I actually don't believe Hamilton should have got a penalty in that Brazilian Grand Prix. But, you know, that's just my own opinion. So, yeah, it is what it is. So, yeah. That's kind of what I think about it, so. Oh wow, Vettel's absolutely slated Ferrari. A reporter asked him, you need to find someone who is responsible for the situation. No, Vettel says, it's over and done. It will be difficult for us this year and next year. In this respect, does not concern me anymore. The team has chosen a different direction than I did. Mad. Damn, son. Yeah, Ricciardo's actually put it quite nicely. This race reminded me of Baku 2017 in a lot of respects. Oh, he put a 27-1 in. Oh, I just put it in a personal bet. I put it in a purple final sector. Fair enough. That makes more sense. Oh, damn, son. Damn. Fair dues. Fair dues. Understandable now. That makes perfect sense. What else have we got? I really want to see the episode of the Italian Grand Prix. What do you mean? I'm kind of sad Renault will be gone next. Renault are not gone next season then. Renault and Alpine are both the same thing. It's just Alpine are the sports brand and they're just changing to become the sports brand name rather than the car company name, which is absolutely fine. They used the Alpine name when they were racing in Le Mans back in like the 70s. So it's not an anomaly and it's something that it's not an issue. So it's just a name change. So I think it'll be fine. What else have we got? What's the name of the GP in Portugal? I haven't got a clue, mate. You can ask me that question if you want. Schedule. In fact, I can tell you right now. It'll be called... the Formula 1 website up. I can tell you that right now. It'll be the Formula 1 Heineken Grand Primeiro de Portugal 2020. Portuguese Grand Prix. That's just literally all it is. It's just the Portuguese Grand Prix. Next up, obviously, we've got the Tuscan Grand Prix. And we've got the Russian Grand Prix, the German Grand Prix, Esports Pro Event Series that I couldn't care less about, Portuguese Grand Prix, the Italian Grand Prix, sorry, not the Italian Grand Prix, the Gran Premiero dell'Emilia Romagna 2020. Then we got Esports again. No, October, November. Why is that? That ain't right. Where's all the Bahrain stuff? I've been royally mugged off here with what's been said here. Oh, then we got Bahrain again. So, you know, Bahrain, Abu Dhabi. And then there's a bunch of esports events, which, like I said before, I couldn't care less about because esports is crap. So, yeah. That's what we thought. I thought Mugello was in Portugal. No, Mugello's in Italy.
Mugello was in Italy. I feel bad for Vettel. He's in a car that he isn't good, and people are criticising him. Yet he's dragging that as much as he can with the last driver to make a proper championship push for him. I can't defend Vettel too much because he's still made stupid mistakes in his car again this year. But at the end of the day, when your heart is, when you're in a team that, you're really unhappy about and you're going to be leaving and they don't really care about you too much, I think at the end of the day, I can completely understand why he'd be like that. So, in my books, it's not, it's a bit of both really. He's not been good enough in the car, and also, he's not been good enough in that car, and then the team, when it's been rough, have not backed him. And at the end of the day, he's got a big issue with the senior personnel, so that's his other issue that he's got to try and delve around. Can I have some room on the track, please? It'd be great, man. Like, you look at Maurizio Rivabene, for example, and why are you going for an overtake through there? I'm not a brake marker board, I am a car. The brake marker boards are there. I'll try and get a switch, but I know this guy's going to try and... I'll just nail my car in there. There you go. I can keep it on the track, keep it on the track. Keep on the track, keep on the track. Oh my god, I nearly crashed into the AlphaTauri. Okay, that's just unnecessary. What an absolute shit show. It does sound. It sounds like the Tusken Raiders of Star Wars. You're right. Your opinion on Latifi? It's his first season of F1, so it's hard to comment, but at the moment he's being wiped the floor with George Russell. And for me, even though Latifi is in it's his first season in Formula 1, people can give the excuse that, yeah, it's your first season in Formula 1, so you need time to adapt, which is fine. But those that are successful are those that can challenge straight away. Lewis Hamilton was brought into the McLaren team, and he absolutely nailed it. He battered... I was about to say battered Fernando Alonso. It's a bit rude to say that, because they tied on points in the end. But Lewis Hamilton did a better job and took the fight to the reigning two-time world champion in his absolute prime, in his first season in Formula 1. There's been people that have had, shaky starts to their Formula 1 career, and then they've just, ticked along and been great. So you've got to look at it that way as well. So you've got to wait till the next season with Latifi. But the biggest problem is if you can't beat your own teammate, you're in the same car. He's been out-qualified in every race so far this season. George Russell has yet to been out-qualified by a teammate in his Formula 1 career, which is pretty funny. It's not going to be easy for him. I honestly don't think he'll last long, though, in Formula 1, to be honest. So, yeah. That's just how I think. I just don't think he's going to be there for... Yeah, that's the thing as well. He almost won his rookie, his championship in his rookie season, and he bottled it himself. So that's what I mean by like rookie mistakes, because they can happen in Formula 1. But you also have to look at, it is a rookie season, so you kind of let off the hook really. You are slightly let off the hook in your rookie season in Formula 1, but if you can't step up, then sorry, it's going to be a problem. Look at Lando Norris actually versus Carlos Sainz in 2019. Lando Norris was absolutely sensational in that car in 2019, in his first season in Formula 1. So you need to add that into the equation as well. The guy's been mega quick.
And I believe he outqualified Sainz during that season. He didn't outrace him. Sainz was better in the race. And then you look at this season, Norris has been getting there. You know, he's still not... He's ahead in the championship. And he had a better start. And the talk was all about Lando. And Sainz didn't really have anything to offer. But Sainz has come back at him now recently. So there's that to put into perspective. Whereas Latifi, yes, he's finished 11th in both the races. And Russell didn't have any, has not finished that high up before yet. But Russell keeps putting in those standout performances. And unfortunately, he's just not able to capitalise and get those higher up places for whatever reason, due to him having what's it called? Whatever it may be under red flag or whatever. He maybe he pitted, Latifi maybe didn't. I don't know. So maybe they didn't give Russell fresh tyres. You can put everything to the question on that one. So it is. That's kind of just how I judge it. Yeah, that's what I mean. George needs to... I wouldn't say George needs to be more consistent in the races, because... Yes, he's quicker in quali, but it's quite clear to see that, the Mercedes car and the engine has been better in quali. The Williams car is by far the slowest car on the field. They've just been lucky that they've had the best engine. If you look at... The thing is, right, is look at it this way. If you look at Haas and Alfa Romeo, right, if they had the engine of a Mercedes, or pretty much, if they had not a Ferrari engine, they would still be a good second plus clear of Williams. Let's not put that into perspective, right? George Russell, as good as you want to say he's doing, getting that car into Q2, I think you've got to put it in the limelight that, George Russell has been given a car which is still useless. We're not mocking Williams as much because the likes of Haas and Ferrari have got much better chassis, much better aero than the Williams. But the Williams has been fortunate that it's got a Mercedes engine, whereas Haas and Ferrari are being pulled back by what is, quite frankly, was an illegal engine, which is why they qualify. They're there. So Williams actually would probably not get a car out of Q1, bar the Styrian Grand Prix, had it not been. Had you put last year's Ferrari engine in that car. So that's my only thing about George Russell in terms of he needs to be more consistent in the races. Not necessarily, because when all the engine modes are turned down a tad, that car is nowhere near as good as what it actually states it's going to be. So that's kind of what I put into it. I don't even think about that, but that's how I feel about it. That's how I personally feel. So, yeah. That's my thoughts on it. So, Russell would be way better than Bottas if he was in a Mercedes. He dominated F2 and all. Where's the proof? We need proof in the pudding to show that. GG jump wire, man. 14-7. That's mad. Where's the proof in the pudding? You look at Gasly. He was flying in Toro Rosso. We were like, I can't wait to see Gasly in the Red Bull next season. He's going to smack. He was terrible. So yeah, everyone can say, I really want George Russell in that team, and don't get me wrong, I'd like to see George Russell in a Mercedes-Benz, but for me, that doesn't necessarily prove that he's going to be the quickest. There's no evidence to show that George Russell is going to be better than Bottas in the Mercedes. George Russell could potentially even struggle more than Bottas in the Mercedes-Benz. Obviously, you need to find out by actually putting George Russell in the Mercedes-Benz, so let's put that into perspective first. But, there's no point in saying, oh, this guy's going to be so much better. It's like saying, oh, put Verstappen in the Mercedes-Benz and he'll absolutely smash Hamilton. Well, not necessarily, because the car might not suit him. He might like the way that the Red Bull... Oh, yes, man's taking the title. Let's go. I think I'll end it on that anyway, because I've been streaming for nearly 2 hours and I want to go and do some other things. But yeah, you need to put that into the account as well. So, you say, oh, Verstappen, put him in a Mercedes-Benz, he'll absolutely dominate and he'll smash Hamilton. Well, you don't know that, do you?
Verstappen loves the Red Bull car. It's quite clear to see that. Probably not as much this year, but Verstappen is really excelling in the Red Bull car and the Red Bull team. Where's that proof in terms of, him actually performing then under a Mercedes-Benz car? It might be that the Mercedes-Benz's low rake, long wheelbase, all, X, Y, Z, might not actually help him. He might not actually like the way that the car is set and designed compared to a Red Bull. So that's why it's very hard to make those. So when, you look at that, you look at... frustrated for Bottas today. Slow start, contact, massive understeer, and overheating car. Okay. Like if you want Mercedes to drop Bottas or Russell next year. Yeah, sure. But we'll wait and see. But guys, I'm going to wrap it up there for today's stream. I'm going to go and sort out some other little bits and bobs. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it, though. Rosberg was never suited for Mercedes. I disagree with that. I think Rosberg was definitely suited to Mercedes. He was there since Mercedes came back into Formula 1 and really took the fight to Lewis Hamilton. So that's kind of what I think about that. But anyway, thank you very much for watching this F1 debate / open lobby stuff. I might probably end up doing this from now on for Formula 1, the F1 debate. I think it's just kind of better doing it this way than it is, any other way. So probably do it this way from now on. But guys, that's going to be me done. Hope you guys enjoyed. And yeah, peace.